Cuts up veteran style. I should think about pride. I do. Things get better with time. Yet souls never undying as a haiku. These thoughts never can die. These tears never gonna dry when I lose you. Some hearts double inside. Your short head grow inch line like the Grinch do. I don't have time cause the race too. Factor in lies that are birth fruit. On the way up, slugfest.
Welcome back to the Monday Evening Football Daily Show. Today is October 18th, and do we have a show for you guys today? Hey, the Denver Broncos took on the Los Angeles Chargers last night. We had broadcasted the game, called it when they went into overtime because we thought, it was going to be a particularly sloppy overtime just based on the way the game was being played. And you know what? Turned out we were accurate about that assumption. The Chargers did pull out, 19-16 win at the end there? Yep. In overtime, a lot of 3 and outs by both teams in overtime. Not great to see. Just really like no team wanted to win, but the Los Angeles Chargers eventually able to get into field goal position, and they kicked the field goal. Their kicker, Dustin Hopkins, hey, the star of the night. This guy was kicking with the hamstring just like torn off his bone. Every time he went out there after the first one and injured it, every time he went out there, he kicked 4 field goals, tore the hammy off his bone, literally. So, excited for that guy. That dude's got grit. You're going to see Pat McAfee talking about him later. And, oh, sorry about that. A little commercial there. News story just popping off. Sorry about that. But Pat McAfee definitely going to be talking about Dustin Hopkins today. Going to be high on him, for the brand type of guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he had him on his show later this week. Just knowing the type of guy Pat is, I could definitely see him trying to get him on. But yeah, that dude, player of the game. Hopefully he got the game ball because he definitely made that team go. A guy who didn't necessarily particularly make a team go or didn't have the opportunity to make a team go because maybe he was sidelined and maybe some people on Twitter saw him pouting. I don't know. But that would be Melvin Gordon. Says no one told him why he was pulled from the Broncos' loss to the Chargers after just 3 carries. No one said anything to him. People on Twitter kind of saw him pouting. They weren't too happy about it. A lot of people had questions. But, they decided to go with Latavius Murray, who was doing the damn thing pretty good last night, and Boone, who was, getting his carries, but I guess Melvin Gordon said he felt hurt, which I think naturally you would feel hurt if you were pulled from a game and no one mentioned anything to you, but also I do find that kind of hard to believe that nothing was said like, hey, we're going to go this direction at the running back spot, but that might be on coaching if that is the case. I wasn't there, I just saw what we all saw as we were broadcasting the game. But in other news, Robbie Anderson out of there. Carolina Panthers traded him away just a day after, yelling at his coach on the sideline. So he's going to be in Arizona now. Arizona's wide receiving core is pretty talented. If they can get, DeAndre Hopkins back from his suspension, see where Hollywood Brown, I know he had an MRI and things were looking good, I believe Adam Schefter reported, but I don't really trust too much of what Adam Schefter says. But although he usually is pretty right, but man, he puts like a terrible twist on the way he reports stuff sometimes. And it's just like, dude. And sometimes he's just flat out like disrespectful. But that's words for another day. Sorry. But the Robbie Anderson trade, yelling at his coach on the sideline, obviously the Carolina Panthers want to do things a different way. It seems. Or Robbie Anderson's just getting upset by the way things are getting done. And he's like, no, we're not going to win here this way. So I think that's probably best thing for both parties there. Hey, we're going to send you, and, maybe that makes it better for you and, things get better for us. And the other thing, too, is that the Kliff Kingsbury just gave up his play calling after the 2-4 Cardinals start, obviously knowing they need a little shake up there in the play calling department to get Kyler Murray a little more efficient, Because Kyler Murray, even though that clause has been taken out of his playbook, he's still in the playbook 10 hours a week, at least, minimum, bar none. Still in the playbook 10 hours a week, okay? So believe that, first of all. This is on Kliff Kingsbury, which is the right thing to do as a coach. Take accountability, and it's a major shot to your ego that's to say, hey, I got to give up play calling for our team to get better. But that might be the right decision, and if it is, no one's going to even remember your decision to give up play calling at 2 and 4. Maybe besides the media, they tend not to forget when it definitely benefits their story. But I think it's a good thing for Kliff Kingsbury to be giving up his play calling. I'm sure the Cardinals fans are probably pretty excited. Now, the guys on the field are going to have to respond to that. They're going to have to put some points on the board. They have to get in the end zone, find a way to do it. I've seen a lot of reporting come out about Kyler, and maybe he's not the quarterback everyone thought, but I don't think he was ever the quarterback people thought he was going to be. He was just a guy who was able to get it done. Athletic as all hell, and that's kind of the guy he is. So it's interesting to see these Cardinals' woes this early on in the season, but I think Kliff Kingsbury and the boys will be able to get it figured out and get the ship righted. And with the addition of Robbie Anderson, who knows? The sky could be the limit, or maybe just a wild card spot. I don't know. But speaking of a wild card nowadays, this man Tom Brady on the Bucs was talking about his recent struggles on the field, and where he was kind of cursing out his linemen, even though he's not the one showing up on Wednesdays. Saying it's a bad day when there's more F-bombs than touchdowns. And that's true. I can't even disagree with you there, Tom. But I think where a lot of people get a little upset is when you start, berating all your players, your teammates that are there. And I get it. It's different set of rules, be who you can afford to be type of thing. And you can afford to not be there on Wednesdays. But it's also a little contradictory. And I don't think it's wrong for people to point that out when you're I'm not there, but hey, I'm going to hold these guys to a standard that, you're kind of not living, which is kind of the Patriots' way. When everyone got to New England, it's no, you bought in. You try to bring that to Tampa Bay, and it didn't quite work out, and then you kind of conform to their culture, which is, understandable, You get it. Makes sense. But now you're berating your linemen when you're not showing up and being the leader who, you were destined to be, who you came back to be. The leader you would have been for the Miami Dolphins had you went there and everything worked out. That's all we're saying, Tom. But, I get you got other stuff you want to do. You want to coach up some younger guys coming to the league, which I get. Totally cool. But, we will call it out, Tom. We sure will. We sure will. But that is all the time we have here today for Monday Evening Football Daily Show, the unofficial Pat McAfee show. Man, a quick one, just in and out today. Hey, we appreciate you all for tuning in. Also, hey, down in the link below on YouTube, there's a link for Colleens cookies. I got to get that website put up here so I can blast it out. But definitely, we're raising money for breast cancer awareness. In October's We Wear Pink. I probably should have led with all this stuff, but I kind of just jumped right into the show because, hey, I got excited to talk about some football and the things going on around the league. But, breast cancer. In October's We Wear Pink. Breast cancer awareness. Be aware. Breast cancer is out there. And let's be proactive, not reactive. All right. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.